In the 1980s, Miami was transformed into the front line of the U.S. war on drugs. A city that had become both a playground for the wealthy and a battlefield for the powerful Colombian cartels. Most notably the Medellín Cartel, whose influence stretched across borders and into the heart of Florida's urban streets, setting the stage for an unprecedented era of tension, conflict, and law enforcement action. The cartel's growing dominance in the cocaine trade meant that massive shipments flowed through the city with surprising efficiency, exploiting the busy port's private airstrips and chaotic coastal waters, while the city's nightlife restaurants and high-end venues served as both financial hubs and networking centers for laundering money and coordinating operations. As their power grew, so did the stakes, and the DEA, increasingly aware of the magnitude of the threat, began stepping up surveillance, tracking shipments, mapping distribution networks, and embedding undercover agents into the city's complex social fabric, all while navigating a landscape of corruption, community fear, and criminal sophistication that made even small operations perilous. Tensions escalated as DEA operations occasionally collided with cartel operatives, leading to moments of direct confrontation that turned parts of Miami into zones of high alert, with law enforcement forced to balance caution with urgency and the cartels relying on both intimidation and careful planning to maintain control over their shipments and territories. These clashes were not just isolated incidents but part of a larger pattern of strategic maneuvers as the Medellín Cartel sought to assert dominance over competing distributors and reinforce its network of loyal couriers, pilots, and intermediaries, while authorities worked tirelessly to gather intelligence, secure warrants, and intercept shipments, each success and setback influencing the next phase of operations. The social impact on Miami was profound. Neighborhoods became sites of tension. Ordinary citizens were exposed to sudden violence or financial disruption, and public awareness grew as news outlets reported on arrests, raids, and the dramatic confrontations that were reshaping the city's reputation. Over time, the DEA refined its approach, using both traditional investigation techniques and emerging surveillance technologies to map the cartel's routes, track financial flows through shell companies and nightclubs, and build cases that would eventually dismantle key segments of the Medellín network operating in Miami. By the late 1980s, a combination of arrests, asset seizures, and sustained federal pressure significantly weakened the cartel's street-level operations, demonstrating the challenges of confronting a highly organized, well-funded criminal enterprise while also highlighting the bravery and complexity of law enforcement efforts. In retrospect, the Medellín-Miami shootouts symbolize more than just isolated gun battles. They represent a convergence of geography, ambition, law enforcement ingenuity, and social dynamics that permanently altered Miami's landscape, leaving a legacy of lessons about urban vulnerability to organized crime, the importance of strategic policing, and the intricate, often invisible networks that underpin global criminal operations, all while cementing the city's place in history as a critical battleground in the American war on drugs.